Welcome everyone to the first interview of the Army of Love. And I'm very excited. I have with me Simon Ochen. Just by chance, we met in Australia. I've been following his amazing journey for the last 3 or 4 years already. I introduce a little bit, if you don't mind. Simon one day got to a point where he just say, enough is enough from this rat race that a lot of us getting stuck in. And he decided to take everything and sell everything he had, put the bag on his back and start traveling around the world. It was about 47,000 kilometers in 21 countries, from hitchhiking to rides with boats, all of it without money, as pretty much singing was his currency, exchanging a lot of good smiles. Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll go for the first questions, which is really the most interesting one, I think, for all of us. Is this turning point in our life when we say, no more, I can't keep doing it. Tell us a bit about your turning point when you decided to just leave everything, put the bag, and get out to this journey.
I was living in Lawn in Australia on the coast. And I was hanging out with a lot of backpackers, and you're just hearing all these stories of adventures and just connections you make with local people. And I thought it's something I'd love to do, but I don't see myself doing it anytime soon. I moved back to Melbourne, started a business with a high school friend, and I quickly realized that I have no drive to accumulate money. I'd never wanted to be rich. In April of 2013, my mother came to visit with her partner, and my uncle and his wife took us all to Tasmania for a week over the Easter holidays. And we're driving around the beautiful island. If you've never been, the air is so fresh it hurts your lungs. It's just beautiful scenery everywhere, and we've just met these very simple people, very talkative, very happy to help. I'm thinking, why am I still stressing about things that are happening in Melbourne when I should be here in this moment enjoying scenery? And I couldn't pull away from that, from the stress of that work, of starting this new business, trying to figure things out. I'm 31, not happy with where I am in life. And just thinking, all right, well, what's the future going to hold? And then all of a sudden, it sort of just hit me, Here's what I need to do. I need to go see the world. And I need to do it in a challenging way, not just only to challenge myself, but to challenge society and what we're led to believe that is important, which is always money and things and possessions and materialistic stuff. 5 weeks later, I was on the road. So I drove my car from Melbourne through the middle of Australia, through the outback, reached Darwin. I sold a car, found work on some boats, and eventually found a boat that was going to Indonesia, and I got off the island.
Amazing, to hear about this change and to get the courage, I guess, that we all of us have those dreams. One day I'll do that, but to get the courage and say, all right, that's it, I'm doing it, I'm living my life, that's inspiring.
Thank you.
If you can tell us a bit about the journey in general and some things that happens from there for you.
Well, in the beginning, it was a bit difficult to find the formula where I could just barter. I had to spend a bit of money at first, sharing costs on the boat for food and fuel. Visas, of course. Mainly, I did couch surfing, which is where you stay with local hosts and you exchange cultures and stories and sort of way of life. You teach them a bit about where you're from. They teach you about their area, and they show you their places that tourists won't ever go to. So I stayed with locals as much as I could. I first hitchhiked from Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok, Thailand over 3 days. With my travel buddy at the time, Baz, he was traveling from New Zealand to Scotland without flying. He went through China. I went through Africa. From Thailand, I found the boat that will take me across the Indian Ocean. And I overcame my fear of swimming in very deep water.
Yes.
Without seeing the bottom, and the depth reader is reading 4,000 meters of nothing but water beneath you. So when you cross the equator for the first time on a sailboat, you're thrown overboard as a sacrifice to Neptune. And
wow.
If Neptune doesn't want you, then he'll spit you back up. Unfortunately, we crossed the equator at 8 in the evening when it was pitch black, and we decided to do the ceremony in complete darkness, 4,000 meters of water. In the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Jumped to the deep water.
Jumped in the deep end, yeah. Reached Africa, and I didn't really know much about Africa. Just what you see on the news. It's dangerous. It's, diseases and wildlife and wars and everything. And I got there, and nothing of that even remotely scratched me in any way. It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to and traveled through. And there's an energy in Africa that just holds you because it's so diverse. Every country has so many tribes, so many dialects, so many cultures, traditions, different foods, different animals. But then when you leave the sub-Sahara and you cross into Sudan, it's completely different because you've gone from green bushland to complete deserts. The way people are in each country it's unbelievable.
That's something really interested me actually, because I notice on myself and on many of us, when we are in our comfort zone, we got money, we got our friends, mixing with others, or we'll sleep in our hotel. But when you got nothing, I guess your all interactions, because you are dependent on people to help you pretty much and to help them, obviously, like exchanging. But to get this journey, you have to have those people. And tell us a bit about it, like the reaction of people when you're coming to them and say, I got no money, but I want to sleep here, I can help you. That's very interesting to hear, because for me personally, I see it. And a lot of time in our head, we say, would I go? Would I ask this person? We stay in our comfort zone. One of the most inspiring things is you just go out of it, and then you're there, you don't have choice, you go and you're connecting.
A lot of the times it was just arriving and see what happens. I had no plans of sleeping somewhere, but I would arrive and I wouldn't worry about it because I knew that all I had to do was just have a chat with someone and not even reach a point of asking, can I stay with you? It was basically just tell them my story. And in the end, they just invite you to their homes. And if you can give something back, then that's great. You help them, you open their minds even. You don't have to give something like a material thing to them. You don't have to give them money. It's enough that you have opened their mind to this new concept which they're not aware of, because in their existence, all they know is without money, we cannot survive. Mm-hmm. But they forget that money is a relatively new concept. Before money, it was all barter. It was all an exchange of goods for goods. Nothing had a monetary value. But nowadays, we're chasing this thing, which is nothing more than a piece of paper with a number on it. And we have accepted that as a reality, and we have accepted that to dictate our lives, because we're always told, without this piece of paper, you will get nowhere. Instead, I'm using what I have, what I've studied, what I've learned, what I've experienced. And through that, I've been able to give back. I was hitching in Tanzania from Iringa to Mwanza, the shores of Lake Nalubela, which is more famously known as Lake Victoria. And I bumped into this gentleman who turned around and simply said, "Hi, how are you? Welcome to Mwanza. Why don't you come stay with me and my family in the village?" And it turns out he just opened a vacation school offering courses to students who had just finished high school. And he asked me if I could teach them anything. I told them about Australia, the animals, the oceans, the ecosystems, biology, simple things like why you shouldn't cut trees down, why you should recycle, why plastic is bad for the planet. And I hope it opened their eyes a bit. And I hope that has provided them some sort of insight into the beauty that this planet has.
That's amazing. Isn't it? In the end of our life, I always say what we're going to remember is personal connections, the amount of time we look to people in the eyes and really connect, how busy we've been in our work trying to make more and more. And this is just amazing, to go and talk to complete strangers and really connect in that level. And the fact is, as you say, everyone was very receptive about it. It just proved, that people are thirsty for more of that real connection that always lost around what this guy can give me or provide me money-wise, other than just having a good singing night with someone they never met and learning about new countries and seeing new things. I guess when money is not there, a lot of the time it's about trust, isn't it?
It should always be about trust and not about how much you have.
Amazing. So what countries did you manage to see in these 3 years?
I went from Australia to Indonesia to Singapore, Malaysia to Thailand, to Sri Lanka, through Chagos Islands, Madagascar, South Africa, Namibia, Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, and Israel.
I remember you told me once you had like a funny situation with the police that you managed to get yourself out.
Eventually, a friend who was quite well connected on Zanzibar managed to just emphasize what I was telling them, that I didn't have money, I couldn't pay them a bribe.
What is your biggest tip, piece of advice you have for people that listening that maybe also can't find themselves in this system that we all locked in and feeling they not belong and feeling this calling from inside to go and follow their bliss? What is your biggest tip or advice after doing all of that? and choosing that way of life.
If you expect absolutely nothing, you'll always get something. And that something can be from a smile, a hug, a handshake, a place to sleep, a plate of food. It doesn't always have to be a materialistic thing. It can be just that connection you have with someone, even if it's just for a second.
That's something that we need so much more in our life.
Nothing is more important than human connection, and nothing is less important than anything monetary, because money really cannot buy you anything that you yourself can provide, which is happiness and making others happy and just having that energy, that human connection, which is what we've all lost. You used to walk down the street, you wouldn't carry anything in your hands. Now everyone's got a phone in their hand. And even if they're not using it, it's still in their hand, checking every minute, every second. I just want to talk to a person. I want to see their reactions in their eyes. I don't want to stand there and they're like this. Sure. They're not listening. They're not caring. Forget that it's disrespect, but it's the fact that they're not putting the effort in to connect with you. When I was in Israel, they have this app called Waze, which is like a mapping app, like GPS. So everywhere I went, I didn't know how to get there. I'd ask, how do I get there? Someone on the street, they look at me and they go, you don't have Waze? I said, no, I don't have Waze. And then they ask, why don't you have Waze?
Yeah.
And I just say, because then we wouldn't connect.
Planet Uland, you don't have Waze.
Exactly. And then the shocking thing was, when I'd reach a city or a town, I don't know how to get to my friend's house, the person who's hosting me, and ask them, can you explain how I get to yours? And they'll go, you don't have Waze? No, I don't have Waze. Okay, I don't really know how to explain to you how to get to my place. I said, what do you mean? You don't know how to get home without Waze? Nope.
No. Wow.
I just put in the phone and watch the phone. So you're not even focusing on the road. You're not focusing on the journey you're on. Mm-hmm. You're focusing on the computer that tells you things. You're focusing on the thing that is disconnecting you from everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like that with our life, isn't it, now? That everything is on a remote control. It's like driving on a automatic driver and not noticing, the flowers and the smiles of people and just this amazing planet that we got around us, isn't it?
When I was working in the restaurant, people would come in, families, entire families, the two parents, the 2.5 children, sit around the table and everyone takes out some sort of electronic device and they're just in that device. They're not connecting with each other. How often do you have time to spend with your family? You're working 12 hours a day because you've got to have money so you can pay the mortgage because that's what you're told to do. Your kids are at school all day. So you only see them for an hour in the evening or an hour in the morning before they go to bed or you have to go to work. 2 times a year that you have a family adventure together. Everyone's in their phone. Everyone's looking to see what everyone else is doing rather than being in that moment and doing what they should be doing, which is reconnecting, learning about each other, asking, hey, how's your day? What are you up to? Today, it's all text messages, WhatsApp. 2 years of traveling through Africa, I didn't have a phone. And people would always say, how do you survive without a phone?
As we used to be a few years ago before we already forgot. If we want to go and see friends, we go outside and see who is there when we was young.
Exactly. you play in the street and you make new friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And why is that so important? It's because you're not only connecting with new friends that you make, you're connecting with nature. You're playing in the grass, you're climbing trees. You're getting to know like dogs and cats, which is very important because nowadays kids walk down the street and they're terrified of animals.
It seems that we lost a bit from our touch from our emotions due to all of this, become so far from the emotions and who we really are, which actually leads me for the next question, which is, I love this question, is what is happiness and joy to you? How do you define it? What matters to you most in life?
I really enjoy just seeing other people happy. I enjoy making other people laugh and smile. If I play music and they're dancing, it makes me happy. If I'm walking down the street and I have a conversation with someone that I've never met before, it makes me happy. If I can open someone's mind to new concepts, to a new way of thinking, it makes me happy. What brings me joy is the ocean. More time I spend in the water, for me, is joy.
What really matters for you? Like, the thing is when we all of us gonna go at some stage that you know that you did in this world. That's what I mean, what matters.
I think what matters most would be to be able to break out of the systematic brainwashing. If you can break away from that, if you cannot be sucked into that, you need this, you must have that. If you don't have this, you're not going to survive. You're not going to get that. Be yourself. Do whatever you want. Wear what you want. With anyone judges, whatever. It's their problem. They're going to waste their time on judging. And they're not in the moment. They're not experiencing life. So what matters most is if you can break away from that mechanism, you can really free yourself from these chains that society chains us down with. In the Western world, they say we're born free. And in fact, it's the first lie you'll ever encounter in your life. And it's the biggest one. Because when you're born, you're given a name, you don't have a choice. You're told what religion to follow, you don't have a choice. And you're told what nationality you are. You're branded and labeled as a nationality, which you're then judged upon for the rest of your life. Then you're told that you have to defend the honor of that nationality, no matter what, even if it means costing your life. You pay for it with your life. What is the point of that? And if we can drop these labels of nationality, where you're from, it doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm from here because I'm here now. And I'm enjoying this moment. I'm enjoying this place. It doesn't matter where I was before. It doesn't matter where I come from. Because all nationality labeling does is create a judgment for that person.
Absolutely.
So if someone asks me where you're from, I say I'm from Israel. In their head, they're being played these newsreels that they see on the news. Oh, Israel, oh, I know what all that's about. You say you're from Australia, and then they're thinking, oh, good life, rich country, all this, but they don't know the dark history of the systematic genocide of the indigenous peoples. You'll never read that in any history book.
Absolutely.
So what matters most is if you can break away from the bullshit that we're constantly sold and we constantly buy every day, you will be freer, you will be happier, you will just be, which is what we're all about. We're called human beings. We may as well be human.
Absolutely. You are a stand for it, the way you're doing it, and then walk the walk, and literally walk the walk, 47,000 kilometers, walk the walk, of showing people that it's possible, that they can follow their bliss, that they can do it, and they can live their life and get to the end of it without regrets, with knowing, I did it, I go my way, which amazing. Take my hat off. We go to my last question, which is my signature question that I really love. You are now sitting in your deathbed with your most loved ones, your family around, and it's probably the last few breaths. What do you leave with them?
Probably a fart.
That's a good way to end up the life, isn't it?
Go out with a bang.
That's it. I love it. I really love it. Absolutely pleasure to hear your story. I want everyone that want to go to Facebook, find the Nomadic Diaries, the blog of Simon, which you can find so many amazing stories and images and from all around the world. And it's absolutely amazing. I've been following it myself for 3 years and I got so inspired.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining and sharing all of it with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely.